All right, we're here today with Daniel. Daniel, can you tell us what you did?
I got 19th place at the Santa Clara Regional with Rescuers.
Booyah! All right, let's get into it.
We got 3 Hydrant and 3 Airlifter. We built the starters of the deck, maxed out on all of them. Not really much to say there. 2 Preventer, 2 Turbulence. 3 is too bricky, 1 is too little. You have to play 2 of each. 1 Impulse.
Daniel, I've been seeing a lot of people playing this card at 3. Why are you playing this at 1? I thought this was a good card.
This card sucks at 3.
Can you tell us why?
Okay, going second, it doesn't actually do anything. People say it's like 2 Elements Haveness and you play on turn 0, but you summon Fire Attacker and you go neutral and card advantage, and it just turns on Talons and Thrusts, and then you get destroyed by that. And then it's I would rather just draw actual non-engine instead of just drawing this. So yeah, I only found use for this on my turn when breaking boards, but I mean hand traps do the same thing of stopping the board from happening in the first place. And there's a lot of FTK decks in the format, like Infernoble and Manatium, that you can't, you have to hand trap them before they get going, or otherwise you're just gonna get screwed. So
right.
Yeah, that's why I like 1 Impulse.
So we're also not on the Fire Engine or any of that stuff?
Yeah, those cards suck. I'm not playing those. And then for the Rescue spell traps, 3 Emergency, the best one with Need Teller, and then all the 1-ofs to set off Turbulence here, and then HQ. This card kind of sucks, but you have to play it for the grind game. But sometimes I side it out going second if I need room for sideboard. But yeah, it's generally a bad card to draw going second, but you kind of have to play it because you need it for the grind game. But I was considering cutting it. I'm not sure though what I would do with it. And then consistency cards, 3 Frost and 2 Small World. I think the Frost was mandatory for the deck. You can't play without it.
Can you tell us who gave you these Frost?
You did.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you very much. And then yeah, I would not play it without the Frost. And then 2 Small World. This card's probably getting cut. I really don't like it. Every game I lost was where I drew one of these at least.
What was the problem with this card?
Well, the problem, besides being just a -1, sometimes you just don't draw a monster. The deck plays more spells than monsters, so yeah, this card is not amazing, and taking it out would just make more space for other cards maybe. I don't know, but it's just generally not a good card in my opinion. And then we're playing 3 Fenris and the Ogre. Fenrir is just a broken card, and then the Ogre is for a Small World bridge, so if you don't know, you just special Fenrir, search Fenrir, and then you activate Small World, you reveal Fenrir, and then you reveal the Ogre because it's a psychic, and then you reveal Hydrant because it's a 0 attack. So I did this for just extra added consistency. I never, the Small World bridge came up twice, but other than that, it's still probably getting cut. I just don't like Small World, but Fenrir is an insane card.
What would you play instead of Small World?
I have no idea. Maybe Talents. Because if you normal the Airlifter and you get Emergency, if you get Ash on Emergency, your turn ends. So you kind of need something to help with that. And until Age of Overlord comes out and the Sinful Spoils engine comes out, it's kind of hard to extend past that. So you just at best do Talents with their hand and hope to play with your non-engine until next turn. But yeah, that's the main problem with the deck. If you get stopped on Emergency, your turn ends sometimes. So yeah, probably just Talents, I think. I'm going to try that. And then 1 Kurikara to search off Small World, it's out Noir and a Rise Heart. Problematic cards like that. I actually didn't Small World into this. I Small Worlded into it once, I think. Yeah, it didn't come up that often, even though I played against a lot of Castria. And then 1-ofs, Rhoda, Called By. It just searches Airlifter, stops Ash on Emergency. I'm not playing 1-for-1 because I think that card has the same problem with Small World. And then for non-engine, we're playing 3 Ash, 3 Imperm, and then 3 Book of Eclipse. I'm playing Book of Eclipse over Book of Moon because people say you can Ash Book of Eclipse, but Book of Eclipse is just a better board breaker than Book of Moon. And then if they Ash your Book of Eclipse, it's chances are you probably would have lost that Ash anyway. It's a defensive card to stop your combo. Because again, Ash on Emergency is it's pretty bad. So if they're using your Ash on Book of Eclipse, then they're not Ashing your Emergency. So it's fine. Now for the extra deck, we're playing the Terahertz package. I'm not playing the 8-card Reaper Docus combo. It's pretty bad. but this is a bit better. I included the aggregators last minute because I think you can just play this with just a Semworm and it's fine, but I put in the aggregator last minute, but I actually only made this combo once the entire tournament.
I mean, I'm not using it right now because
I don't know, it just didn't come up that much. Like, I might just cut it, I'm not sure, but it's like fine. I mean, the game, like generally if you get to this point, you're winning the game, but it might not be necessary. I might include some different cards, I'm not sure. And then Proxy F and Mud Dragon to protect your turbulence. This is for lines where you open Hydrant and one of the big guys. Yeah, it's like, it's alright, I might cut it. And then the two Charmers, these are mandatory. I love them so much. These came up like every game. They're just insane for league climbing. You need to play these. And then IP Masquerena. So for lines where you go Proxy Up Magician into Mud Dragon, your end board is set 4 cards off the Turbulence, and then the Mud Dragon and the Turbulence. And then you just turn these into IP Masquerena. And then against Purely, this is like really important because if they activate Street, all your Rescue Ace traps are turned off because they all target. So you need to have this up to deal with the Street. So you can flip one of your Rescue Ace spell traps and summon like a Predator or something. And then if they activate Street, you can go IP effect, and then you link off with the Nightmare Unicorn, spoiler, and then you just spin back the Street. So it's really important to stop Street, otherwise you just instantly lose the Street. But during the tournament I didn't play against much Purely, so I don't know. And then Nightmare Phoenix and Nightmare Unicorn, just to deal with generic threats, just good cards. And then Heat Leo, because it's free, you link it off with Hita. And then access code to end games. And then for the side deck, we're playing 2 Lightning Storm, 1 Duster, to deal with just generic Board Breaker and Labyrinth. Labyrinth is your worst matchup, it's very scary. So these are good to deal with it. Bell again, because you need some kind of graveyard hate, and again Labyrinth, it's a scary matchup. Just better to be prepared for it. And then 3 Joel and Lockbird. Again, a bunch of FTK decks. Some decks just auto-lose to this card, so should just play it. 3 Nibiru. Again, stop FTK decks. Unchained is also a very scary matchup, so Nibiru beats that. Like some decks just insta-lose to Nibiru. Then 3 Book of Moon. A lot of people are maining the 6 books, but I don't think that's correct when there are decks like Salad that are actually good now. But I think siding the other 3 Book of Moons is just better, because this is the card that you definitely want to see against like decks like Purely and Kestira. And yeah, it's just really good to side it, so I think it's better than maining it.
But yeah, that's the deck profile. Any shoutouts, Daniel?
Shout out to TCG for providing us with all the cards that we need. And then shout out to my friends at Highlander Duelists and UCR, and had a good time with at the regional. So yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Daniel.